where we're more than just a podcast, we're a family. Go ahead and take some deep breaths, baby. You're safe here. Self-love, confidence, acceptance, and growth. Welcome home. Welcome to Probably Late to Something. Hi babies, welcome back to another episode of Probably Late to Something. I love you. I hope you're doing okay. I are great. I don't know why I said okay. Like, what kind of energy is this? I hope you're doing fantastic, baby. I hope you know you're sexy and feeling good. But I also want to start off with a nice deep breath like we've been doing for the past, I think, 3 episodes. So ready? 1, 2, 3. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Every time you listen to this podcast, keep breathing into the nose. We're going to take like 5, but every time you click on this podcast and you listen to this podcast, this is your time to relax. This is your time to connect to yourself and vibe with yourself and be with me and your own energy. And this is like a self-care moment, you know, where we can just like ask ourselves how we're doing. And then afterwards, hopefully we all journal and do the challenges and do the prompts and just have a good time in a safer environment for our brains. That brings me to the thing that inspired me to make this podcast episode, because someone really pissed me off. And like, I get that when you put yourself on the internet, like, people think that they have a right to like speak on your life, but like literally I feel like it's just so, like, people are so fucking bold. They have the biggest balls when they're behind a screen and not just like face to face, because I know these bitches would never, they could never, and they still aren't, but like, you know what I mean, like they're just lowballing and whatever. But so I posted like a video, and like these girls were talking about, and this is like the 3rd time I've seen this comment, just like on different videos. They're like, I hope you like hold yourself higher, and like you just give off such distasteful vibes, like da 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 da. Bitch, distasteful? Everything about me is tasty. You must be confused. You must not know who I am. I am She Queen. I am bad bitch. I am hype girl. I love myself so much that I don't allow other women's beauty to take away from my own. And trust me, I get it. Like, a lot of confident women make insecure women feel uncomfortable. And I have been put through that situation in the past before I started really trying to like dive deep into loving myself and accepting myself. But I genuinely like get so shocked by it, because I first of all, on TikTok, like scrolling through, there's things that I don't like. There's like things that people say that I just like don't find entertaining or amusing, or I don't like someone's outfit, or like someone's makeup look isn't my own makeup look. But that doesn't mean I sit there and comment like, that doesn't really look good, but you know, do whatever you want. Like, what? Like, where? Like, the people, I don't understand who these people are. Who thinks like that and who does things like that? Like, if I don't like someone, I'm not going to follow them. I'm not going to follow them to not like them. Like, why would I want to see someone that I don't like pop up on my page? Like, block me, bitch. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. But there's so many hating people out in the world. And I think like when you hate, and someone anyone in your life that just like hates on you, those friends that like are kind of just like envious of you, or like sit in the back and like give you like compliments, and I put quotation marks because they're not really compliments. I had this friend one time. I don't even know if I've ever talked about this, but I think I did talk about her in the last episode or something like that, where like she was just a partier and like would instigate a lot of things and would stir a lot of like things in the pot. And someone actually I'm not going to give that information out, just because if they watch this, like I don't want any more drama in my life from that girl. But you know, it was like, I was like talking to this guy, and not even like talking, like we were just like flirting, I guess. And he like hadn't texted me back in like a few hours, and I just happened to say out loud, because she knew him, like she introduced me to him and whatever. And like I kind of happened to just say out loud, I was like, oh, like he just hasn't responded to me. And she dead to my face said, oh, he probably just got bored of you. Like, first of all, that could never happen. And second of all, who the fuck are you? You know, I don't know if that was like a thought in her head or she was so intimidated by me or like, I don't know what it was, but that was just like the most bitter, hateful thing ever. Like, that there's no way that that was kind, you know. And he wasn't tired of me. He like stalked me so much after that, but I stopped literally giving a fuck about him because like if you don't respond quick enough to me, I have replaced you already. There's a line. There is a line. Well, there was. Now I'm taken, but there was a fucking line. Okay, so I'm not gonna wait on you. No way. But I remember another thing she said. Like she would always do these weird things. Like she was just a weird girl. She was just so weird. She was like the pick me girl. That's exactly what you would say. She was the pick me girl. And like one time we were going out, and she was like, "Oh, this guy. Let's say his name's Jared or something." She's like, "Oh, Jared really likes you. Like he thinks that you guys will get married and like he's so attracted to you, blah 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 blah. He thinks you're like a goddess, da 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 da." Right? So then I would be like, "Okay, whatever." I'm like, I don't really know him well. I'm not really like, into him really. He was shorter than me, and I was just like, "Okay, that's cool, whatever." So we go out, and like he was gonna be there that night, and I kind of like flirted with him a little bit or whatever, and not like anything crazy, but I was just like, whatever. And on the way back, she was like, we were all just like talking, and we were all driving in the car on the way back from the club, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna smash him." And like I didn't care. I'm like, do whatever you want. But like, isn't that so weird to like sit there and be like, "Oh, he's so into you," and then be like, "I'm gonna fuck him." Like, okay, do it. I don't give a fuck. I don't like him. But like, you know what I mean? Like, where was that? Like, it's just bitter friends. Like, I could never be that person. If I don't like you, I'm going to straight up tell you. Like that one time, there was a girl that just always wanted to be my friend. And I literally had to tell her I didn't want to be in her wedding photos because she wanted me to be her bridesmaid. And I was literally like, I don't think it's good for me to be in the center of your wedding photos because I genuinely don't think we're going to be friends. Like I had tried to tell her so many times that like we literally had a conversation once that was like, I don't have anything in common with you. I was like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like your vibes don't match my vibes. Like we're completely different people. Like she also had a lot of drama, which is fine, but like you have to really care about someone to get involved in like their like drama and all that stuff. Like she would call me and like rant for hours, and it was just like really draining. And I had known her from high school, and she was just always seemed so messy. Like I pray for her, I want the best for her. Like I genuinely just didn't vibe with her, and she was just like always begging to be my friend. And like I genuinely meant no harm. I gave her so many, not even chances, but like I tried so many times to like want to hang out with her and like want to include her, and like she just made all of my friends kind of like uncomfortable, and everyone was like, "I really don't want you to invite her." Like even one day we were sitting in the living room with my mother, and my mom's a stay-at-home mom, and she literally made the comment, and I know it wasn't intentional, but she was like, "Yeah, stay-at-home mothers are just so like, what are they doing? They're just so like worthless, you know? Like, why are you just staying home all the time?" My mom was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom." She was like, "Oh, no, 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 not you." And I get it. Like you slip up sometimes, but she was just very judgmental. She was just very like, you didn't feel comfortable around her. You didn't necessarily like want to be your best self and like you're just like your normal natural personality. Like she just had a stiff energy around her, and I know that that's what like stopped her from making a lot of friends. I hope she is doing well. She did end up getting married, but it was just a weird thing. Like you have to really care about people to like let them in your lives, like let their energy into your lives, especially when you get to the point where you're just like minding your own business, and like you just like, I barely leave the house anymore, and not because like I can't, but just because I don't want to. Like I love my house. I put up so many pictures and so many decorations, and I've made it like a home for everyone. It was my mission now that I'm a stepmom to really like let the boys know that this is home and make sure that their rooms are really comfortable, because in the last house they just didn't have anything on the walls. They didn't really have like bedspreads. Like I know they're all boys, so they might not have given a crap, but I think it's important for them to have like pictures on the walls and like some football signs and like blankets on the couch and pillows everywhere, so it's like warm and like they can like relax into the environment, you know. So especially because this is our first time, like an actual home. Like my name is on this home, and like, you know, it's officially just like our house. And so I decorated all the rooms for the boys, and they really, really liked it. And then when Ben's oldest went out of town recently to handle just a lot of emotional things, and it relates to everything that happened in Oklahoma, when he was away, I wanted to do something nice for him. So I decorated his room, not like decorated, like, but I did a really good job. He actually really liked it. I just put up like 3 pictures, artwork that was like brown, and then I gave him like a whole new bedspread, duvet, and new pillows, and it was like a dark navy, and then I matched it with like a leather notebook and some new pens and like a leather pillow. So it was just still very boyish and still like pretty like plain, nothing like pink sparkles, you know what I mean? But he really, really liked it, and he said thank you. So that makes me super happy that everyone has a little home. Everyone has a little home. When we do have babies, I want to move again, obviously, because we need a bigger house. This is only 3 bedrooms because the 2 younger boys like to sleep together. I know that they're big boys, but they still like to cuddle with each other at night. By the way, we just went to the basketball court. I thought I was just gonna like go and watch them play, but Ben was like super, like he was like, we are going to play basketball, and whoever wins gets a 15-minute massage, right? So there was me, Ben, and his 2 youngest, and one's 15 and one is 9. And I was like, I don't think you want me to be on your team, honey. Like, I don't know how to play basketball. Like, you don't want me to be part of this with you. And he was like, no, we're gonna win. And then we won. And I like did shoot some like hoops, like obviously from very close. I didn't make any of my like, I want to say goals, but buckets or whatever. From far away, I just did like the layup or whatever, but it was like really, really fun. Okay, now moving on to the Instagram. I'm actually going to grab my iPad because it makes me feel a little bit more put together when I grab my iPad. I just put a story up, and I allowed people to ask any little questions they had and advice. So let us see. What builds self-love and confidence? I feel like I talk about that all the time. It is spending time with yourself and falling in love with your own energy. So many times we just run through the earth. We never check in on ourselves. We never have any personal time to ourselves. You never sit in silence. Like, just take 10 minutes a day, meditate, sit in silence, look at yourself in the mirror, hold your own hand, like breathe with yourself. You know, when you start respecting your energy and your presence, and you find beauty in yourself, and you fall in love with little parts of yourself that you think are unique or different, that is when you really start getting confident and getting that, you know, just like that higher bad bitch confident self. And I love it. Someone said, how you move on after you get into a fight with your man. Honestly, like I've been really, really toxic before in relationships. I've talked about this so many times, but I used to really, really fight, especially if I was drinking. If I got like upset about something, there would be nothing that anyone could do to calm me down. So I would just yap. It was so annoying. It was annoying for me. It was annoying for my partner. It was just annoying. But honestly, my mood stabilizers have helped me a lot, and my anxiety meds and my like antidepressants. Like, it just makes me, I don't know, before I would hold on to everything, and now it's just so much easier for me to let go. Like, I genuinely think like, am I going to break up with this person? No. I'm not going to break up with them. And it wasn't really that big of a deal. So I'm like, just going to move on. Like, I'm going to let it go and move on. Obviously, it depends on what situation it is, you know, because if they like cheated on you, that's like a different situation. But if it's just like a normal fight, like, you got to pick your battles. And honestly, you know, if you're tired, like for the day, like you came home from work, like, do you really want to start an argument? Do you really want to like, I think you learn over time to just like let it go. Like, it's really not that important, especially if it's like going to affect your energy. Like, you can express yourself like, hey, it really bothered me that you said this, or that you didn't come to this. I would really like to, you know, either have a conversation about it, or, you know, give me some reassurance or something like that. And then it's easier for you to be able to close that door. But honestly, you just have to let it go and know that your peace means more. You know, like, don't die in the fight. Like, don't do that. Someone said, I'm so in love with my boyfriend, but I'm scared of what other people think if we move too fast. Who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks? Like, could you imagine living your entire life based off of other people? Like, that's going to be such a waste of time. You're going to miss out on so many things just because people are like, oh, don't do that. Most people are miserable. Most people are literally miserable. If the people that give you advice are miserable, don't fucking take it. Do the exact opposite of what they did. Clearly, they did something wrong. Do whatever you want. Date whoever you want. Ben said, how do I get my fiance to stop farting? Fuck you, Ben. Go away. But honestly, I've been ripping ass lately, and it's not even like fun and games. Like, it's like genuine. Like, I wanted to go to the doctor and like check and see if like something died inside of me that was just like so horrendous. Like, it would make me want to pass out. And like, I know that like I can't be this beautiful and not have, you know, just something, you know, wrong with me. Like, I don't know how to spell for the life of me. The other day, Oakley has these like little footballs that he loves to like chew on, and the last one that he had, I mean, he destroyed it so much that it's just like a little tiny piece of like a string that's left of it, and he plays with it all the time still. So we went ahead and bought him a new one. But when we were trying to look for the new one, I had the old one in my hand, like pieces of it. And Ben was like, what is it called? And I was like, Cycle 1. And Ben was like sitting there for like 10 minutes. He's like, Cycle 1? I can't find a Cycle 1 football. He's like, I just can't do it. And I like kind of walked away, and he grabbed it and looked at it. He goes, Cyclone. Well, now shit. Is it Cyclone? I think it was Cyclone. Not Cycle 1. Anyway, so that's just another thing. He started laughing. He's like, I've been looking for a Cycle 1 for an hour, and it's Cyclone. And I was like, whatever, just go away. I literally hate when people ask me to hang out. I just had a text message pop up that's like, oh my God, they want us to come. No. Literally no. Why don't you understand by now that I will never be driving also past 15 minutes ever again? Like, if you are a friend and you live 30 minutes away, you're gonna have to come here. If you live an hour and a half away, there's no shot I'm seeing you. You're gonna have to drive here. I'm so happy in like my home and my neighborhood. My mom lives 4 minutes away from me, like literally on the neighborhood on the opposite side of this like little fence right here. I will never be driving anywhere again. I can walk to my mom's house. You will never catch me outside again. You will never catch me outside again. So Ben, sorry, you won't ever get me to stop farting. Stop feeding me baked beans, even though baked beans are literally my favorite. Someone said, so advice on how to deal with other people's negative opinions on your relationship. Oh, that was one I already answered. Advice for feeling stuck. I'm 20 years old and I have no idea what to do with my life. Well, I think the first thing to realize is that you're not stuck. You're 20 years old. You're 20. If you're 40 years old and are still living with your mom and have no clue, then maybe that's something that you could feel like a little bit anxious about. But if you're 20 years old, your life hasn't even started, honey. Your brain hasn't even fully matured. Neither has mine. I'm 22. You can't feel stuck because you have a billion ways to go. You know, you could be like kind of confused and try one thing. If you like it, don't like it, try another thing. I would focus on, you know, making sure that you're taking care of your mental health, getting to know yourself, getting to know your passions, and saving up money. I think that's really the most important thing to focus on. And everything else is just a waste of your stress and your energy, because genuinely, when you are 20 years old, you have unlimited options. You can do anything. Like, all the paths are right in front of you. You just have to pick which ones you want to try. Like, you know, like when you have, you know, multiple children, are married, you know, you have all of these like deep work relationships, you know, that's when you're stuck. Like, you can't really move. You can't really just get up on a whim and like travel the world. Like, you can't do, like, that's when you're stuck, kind of. And even then you can still really find ways to just switch it up a bit, but you're not stuck. You have 1,000 doors in front of you. You just have to figure out which one you want to open. Someone said, what is the biggest piece of advice that you wish you were able to give your younger self? I would tell her to stop fucking thinking so much. I would tell her to stop thinking so much. I would tell her to let herself be herself. Stop worrying about what everyone thinks. Literally love yourself so fucking much, because you deserve it. You need to be there for yourself if you think that other people aren't. Love yourself, spend time with yourself, and stop giving so many fucks. That's exactly what I would tell her. Ben also said, what should I get my smoking hot fiance for Christmas? Okay, I either want a designer bag, and I'm kind of like to that, because like my favorite bags are not designer at the moment. Like I loved my Gucci one, but I just genuinely like, I don't see myself spending that much money on a bag. Like I get it, but like the more I think about it, I'm like, he can spend 2,500 on a bag for me, or I can get like multiple presents and like a massage and my nails done and a new vacuum for the house, because I vacuum all the time because I'm obsessed with the floors, and I might want to get something like new. And I think I want diamonds. Like I think I want like a diamond ring or like a diamond bracelet or something. I don't know, but definitely a vacuum. Someone said, my man doesn't value me, but I love him. What do I do? Leave him. You just said a man doesn't value you and you love him. You love what you think he is, not who he actually is. If I'm going to move this microphone, if he's not valuing you, how could you love him? Like, what are you loving about him that he doesn't value you? Some part of yourself and some part of how you view yourself believes that you're not worth more than that, and believes that you deserve that, and you don't. And you will figure it out. If it's not now, if it's not later, you're going to hit a breaking point with this person, and you're going to be forced to move on, you know, unless they can genuinely like change and you see changes in them. But if they don't value you and they're not treating you well, like they will cheat on you and they will end up leaving you. That's just like the facts of the matter. I can't expressed it enough. Like I was with someone that did not value me. Like literally you could just tell he didn't really give a fuck. Like he loved me, I think, like a little bit, just like as a human, because we were together on and off for so long. I think there was some sort of connection there, but literally anything that I asked for, like the bare minimum, like they will just shrink you and shrink you and shrink you and shrink you until you have no chance but to leave. And it'll teach you a lot, but I just wouldn't even go down that path. You literally just said he does not value me, but I love him. What do I do? You know exactly what to do. You know already. Okay, someone said, last relationship almost cost me my life. How do I introduce new him to family? I am confused. Is it the same man that like last relationship almost cost me my life? How do I introduce new him to the family? I think it's a new boy. I'm confused if it's the same boy or that's new version or like a new boy. Well, I would definitely be careful just in yourself. You know, I'm not sure what you mean, like cost you your life, but I hope you're okay. I would just introduce them. Honestly, I would just be like, hey, I've been meeting someone else. I mean, what are you nervous about? You know, are you actually nervous because you don't really, like, subconsciously you don't really, you know, see it going well? Like, what are you nervous about? I would ask yourself that first, and then go from there. Someone said, advice about living with parents who give you zero privacy and shelter you. I mean, I know that no parent is perfect, but some parents just fucking are annoying. And I know that all people are annoying, and my mom definitely annoys me sometimes, and my grandpa annoys me and whatever. I think that literally the only thing you could do, you could either talk to them about it, but a lot of parents have that like, I own you, you're my property type of vibe. Like it's my house, it's my say type of thing. It's so annoying. Like I will never be that parent. I will let my child express themselves. Obviously you're not going to punch me in the face and run away from home, but you know, you're free to express yourself. Like if my teenager went out to a party and got drunk, I would rather them call me to pick them up and them trust me enough to know that they can call me than end up going home with a drunk stranger. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, when you shelter your kids so much, they just push further away from you. So I think honestly, like you could talk to them about it if they seem like those types of people, like, hey, like I'm getting older, like I would just like a little bit more privacy, or you just have to wait until you turn 18 and move out. You know, but at the end of the day, being sheltered is probably a better thing to do than do crazy things when you're young. I mean, I've learned a lot, but I wish I could undo certain things, you know. Someone said, what was the prettiest thing you have done because of, what is the pettiest thing you have done because of a breakup? Love you. What is the pettiest thing I've ever done because of a breakup? I don't know. Honestly, I don't really think I've done that many petty things. I think I honestly just cry. I have immediately like moved on to someone taller and hotter and like literally show up at the same party with the new guy, with the old guy. And I almost called someone's parole officer on them because they pissed me off. But I didn't, so I can't really say that one. But honestly, my glow ups speak for themselves. Every time you have a breakup, you have a glow up, and that is it. Someone said how to handle a friend that's pushing me away 10 plus years. What? How do I handle a friend that's pushing me away after 10 years? That's kind of difficult. I always believe in communication, but I do know that it is normal for people to grow apart. And I think sometimes you just have to let it happen, but I think other times you can communicate it. But any relationship takes effort. You know, it's two people that are like putting themselves in a little relationship, whether that's friends or family or relationships, romantic relationships. It takes two people. So if that other person just like isn't putting in that effort, it's kind of, why are you staying? You know? Someone said how to deal with a guy that doesn't understand the word no. You don't deal with them. Any man that you talk to should respect your no. You should not deal with them. I repeat, do not deal with them, honey. What the fuck? No way. Like, that's ridiculous. No way. So it said, I have a story about this guy that ate my ass and stole my credit card the next day. Man, I want to know more about this. Tell me more. Ha. That's funny. Ate her ass and stole her credit card. How to deal with a man who likes you but puts almost no effort into your conversation anymore. Dump them, dump them, dump them, dump them, dump them. Why are we still talking about these things? I am getting fed up. I love you guys so much, but like, why are we wasting our time speaking about people that we already know? Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. It's clear as day. It is so clear as day. Like, why are we wasting our breath and why are we wasting our time? Like, even if you have to ask that question, you know, Ben said, if a man truly cares about you, he will put in the effort to talk to you and he will make excuses to talk to you, excuses to see you. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is over and done with. I'm over these questions. I love you with all my heart, but like, you guys just deserve so much better. So it's hard to see that you don't understand that yourself. It's been 2 years and I still haven't dated or fully gotten over my ex. What is wrong with me? I think a lot of people do that. And honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think getting your heart broken to the point where you are alone for a few years is kind of better, honestly, than just like running around, like filling your void with all these other people. It actually gives you the time to heal. And if you're not picking someone immediately after a relationship, that just means you have higher standards. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's kind of powerful and kind of beautiful and kind of badass. Like, I think it's more badass to say I was single for 2 years because no one was fucking good enough for me than say I dated 18 people, because I would just go bounce, 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 bounce. And I was always so envious of the women that were like, I was single for 5 years until I found someone that I thought was worthy of my attention. Like, that's badass. Like, I think you should be proud. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's really fucking cool. Someone said, knowing if you should stay in a relationship. Relationships take effort, like I always say. And I think it just depends on if you talk to that person and communicate and genuinely you both want to stay in the relationship. You both are in love. You both, you know, you have to really love someone even when you don't like the person. So I would just talk to that and discuss it. And then if you know that you don't like love that person, so many people stay in relationships that they're not fully content in and happy in. And I just think that's a waste of time. I think you should immediately call it, even though it sucks to break someone's heart or hurt someone's feelings or like move forward and move on. I definitely think you should do that instead of just wasting your time trying to pretend that, you know, you're going to want to be with that person. But yeah, I think that's all the questions so far, but I have to like reload it and we're gonna check back in. Someone said, how do you deal with an ex that won't leave you alone no matter how many times you block? Clearly you haven't blocked enough. And we've all been there, done that. Like we like block them and then respond a little bit and then block them again and then unblock them and da 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 da. I think you have to put your foot down. My mom back in the day, because I used to block people so much, like the same guy over and over and over again, but then I would unblock him. And my mom was like, the best way to really punish someone that's done you wrong is to never speak to them again. And I think that's powerful, because imagine like if you block them and then you answer, they like know that they can push you to a certain extent. But when you block them and you never answer again, they will think about that for the rest of their lives. So I would block every single thing that they send you, their email, all their phone numbers, their mother's fucking number. I would block them. If they reach out to you on the Google, like, fake numbers, I would block those too. Don't ever give it the time of day. People go back and forth with that toxic shit. And it's just like such a waste of time, especially the more you grow up and into yourself as a person, you start realizing how many times you have like disrespected your own worth, and it gets you mad. It gets you riled up, Someone said, when to cut a parent off. That's a difficult one. I had so much, toxicity between me and my mom, and I really, really got to a point where I thought I would never speak to her again. But now we're best friends, but I know everyone's situation is different. My best friend, I hate her mom. Like, I hate her mom. My best friend and I have known each other for like, I think over 12 years now. And I've seen the things her mother has done to her, like put her clothes in trash bags and throw them all out, steal her like child support money that her father was giving to the mom, and just like make her work for everything, the name calling. I mean, just stealing from her, like even stealing like her gold earrings that she would like work so hard for. Just like terrible, terrible things. Like she was just such a nasty bitch. And she finally cut her off this year. And I was so proud of her because, oh my God, I thought my boob was out for the video. I was like, oh my God, my boob's been out this whole entire video. It wasn't. I think it was my knee. Oh my goodness. That like made me nervous. I was like, what a waste. But yeah, I think when they clearly add nothing to your life, it's worth cutting them off, even if it's just for a little bit. I would communicate like, listen, like this I cannot allow into my life, but I don't think there's anything wrong with getting rid of people, even if that's your family, that just really make you miserable. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Someone said, how to tell the difference with a red flag and an opportunity to grow in a relationship. I always believe in communicating, but I think that there comes a point when they show you if they're actually going to do better. If the red flag is that he's talking to a whole bunch of girls and he has a whole bunch of girl best friends and he's commenting on a girl's Instagram pictures, and you say like, hey, don't comment under that. Hey, please don't like hang out with this person without letting me know. Or like, hey, don't be so touchy-feely with girls. You know what I mean? And they don't do it. That's your answer right there. That's just when the red flag becomes just a personality trait, and that's not something that you should allow. So I think that change in there, and like, watching their behavior, actions speak louder than words. Someone said advice on sex. That's interesting, because I think that's probably the last one that I'll answer, but I have, kind of gone back and forth in my head because I overthink sex sometimes, and it becomes something that's like harder for me to like relax into, because if I like think to my head, like, okay, healthy couples, have sex this amount of times a week, I will like ruin it for myself, because I'll be like, all right, Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, you know what I mean? And then doing that completely takes it away from myself, and I forget about myself in that, because I'm like putting it as like, a number instead of an actual moment to get close with someone. But I think if you put yourself in the middle of sex and stop making sex about everybody else that's there or the person that's there, I think it makes you feel better. And also, note, don't have sex if you don't feel comfortable. It'll really scar you. Don't have sex if you're not ready and you're not relaxed and you're not with someone that obviously makes you feel safe. But also remember that if it's someone that you love, you can make the first move and communicate when you're ready and when you're not ready. Communicate all of your emotions, all of your feelings, all of your worries, all of your overthinking. Communicate all of that. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that brings you closer to someone that you love, not further away. But it's all about the way that you kind of are processing it and the way that you're viewing it that makes a world of a difference. I'm actually going to talk to my therapist about that though soon, because I have such a bad habit of overthinking it. I've been doing good recently, but I constantly overthink that. So I get you, and you're not alone, but I would just relax into it because it's about you too. You know what I mean? It's not just about that other person. Someone said, how do I stop postponing life? You fucking get up and you live it, bitch. That's how you do that. I mean, if you have time, just sit there and type that out. You have time to make a schedule, make a plan. You have time to go for a walk, go for a jog. You have time to get up. You have time to journal. You have time to read a book. You have time to do the things that you know you need in your life. And start from there. Start from there. I've been literally blowing out these. Is that the correct term? I've been really in a positive frame of mind recently to be filming my podcast. This is episode 15. Hoot hoot. I actually want to talk about one more thing. I can't stand people that cross boundaries. I'm a pretty bold person, but when my friends cross certain boundaries by asking me to do things that you just shouldn't ask a friend to do, or putting you in an uncomfortable position because they know that you're gonna say yes. Anyone that does that, family members, friends, people that you're dating, I just can't stand it. You know what I mean? You don't just walk up and ask someone for something, or catch them off guard and be like, hey, I need you to pick me up here. I just feel it's so rude. And Ben is getting me, he's teaching me to say no more often. He's a very strong person. He's, older than me, so he's been through some things that he always sheds light on that he'll see me go through. Especially when it's a friend or a family member, he'll be like, hey, you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to deal with that, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't. He's like, yeah, if you say no, if you don't want to do that, that's not you being a bad person. They should respect that and understand that you are busy, or, you don't have that money right now, or you know what I mean? And it's really opened my eyes to saying no. I think we're taught to not say no. We feel guilty or bad, and that's not the way it should be. It should be we're taught to respect ourselves enough to know that saying no is not you being rude or being bitchy, or you know what I mean? I just can't understand and fathom the fact that we get so nervous to stick up for ourselves. Who else will we stick up for? I think I'm honestly quicker to stick up for a friend or a family member than I am to stick up for myself. And that bothers me. I'm trying to get better at it. People saying oh, you're distasteful. It bothers me sometimes, but I kind of go back and forth between trying to defend myself and then not even thinking that it's worth it. And recently I've just been picking it's not even worth it. Someone even on my outfit the other day was like, I'm sorry, but those colors do not go together. And I was like, maybe not on you. Also, I just don't understand, back to that whole comment thing. I don't even understand, going to comment that. Why is it any of your business? And why does it matter? If you hate the pattern together, that's fine. But, I clearly liked it together. You know what I mean? What? Did you think that was going to, get into my head and cause an insecurity? No, it just, made me annoyed and made me want to block you. And then it's weird that people complain to me when I block them. They're like, you blocked me for no reason. If I blocked you, it's because I felt like your energy was shitty. or a comment was shitty, or a comment didn't make me happy, like block, 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 block. I have the power to block. You have the power to block. We have the power to allow shit into our lives and kick shit fucking out. And I'm at the point where I'm just gonna kick shit to the curb. Like, obviously I want to grow and be able to hear something that I did that was like offensive to someone, and like be able to be open-minded and like try to be my best version and learn from my mistakes, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, like, if you're gonna come at me and say something nasty or negative and it doesn't like make me happy and it doesn't make me feel like good afterwards, you're gone. Poof. I'm just blocking people left and right, because I don't want to fucking talk to you, and I don't want to hear from you, and I don't want to hear your shit and see your negative energy. And like, everyone in this world is reflecting. Everyone in this world, like, the world is a mirror to these people, and honestly to all of us, you know what I mean? What you see is how you feel, and like what you see is like what you think, and like, you know what I mean? You can see that everyone's judging you. I use quotations there because like no one's actually judging you, which is how you feel inside. So I just try to take everything with a grain of salt, and I try to realize that like not a lot of people are trying their best, not a lot of people are trying to be woke, not a lot of people want to be happy. A lot of people want to be stuck in the same miserable situation, and I just don't choose to do that. So why would I stoop to lower, like, you know, vibrational levels and energy levels? And I did want to say, like, I caught myself because, you know, you can tell me your personal opinion on this because I really couldn't figure it out. I was gonna make a TikTok video saying, you know, it's all body positivity, this, going back to the people saying that I was being distasteful and like I need to be more conservative with my looks, and like, you know, I need to not go so out, which I just think is like kind of rude. Like, if I feel good in an outfit, like, why are you going to tell me I need to do less? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think I'm going to sit there and look at myself in the mirror and like, oh my God, I need to put on a bra. Like, it shows that you're either 50 years old or you don't think that you'd rock it without a bra. But so I was about to film a TikTok where I was going to be like, it's body positivity, this, body, you know, be happy with your body, you know, embrace your femininity and your like power as a woman until someone's hotter than you. Right. So I was going to say that and like post it, but then it was like, I don't want it to come off across like I'm better than you guys, I'm hotter than you. I think what I should have said, and then I just stopped filming because I was like, my brain hurts. I think I should have said like when you feel like someone's hotter than you, you know, because I want everyone to love themselves. Like, I don't want to, you know, I want to feel attractive and I want to feel beautiful, but I don't need to put someone else down, you know, because of that. Like, I know at times, like, you know, you see a pretty girl, you can be insecure about it and you can be like, oh, like, she's prettier than me, or you can feel that way. We all do that. Like, it's just how human brains work. We're constantly comparing ourselves, but I don't want people to feel that way. I want people to feel beautiful, and I want people to feel happy, and I want people to note their beauty and note the things that they love about themselves, like their little cheekbones or their dimples, their smile or their freckles, you know what I mean? Like, even under eye circles. Like, I've been getting into under eye circles more and more and more recently. I was looking at pictures of myself from like 2 years ago, and I was always doing eyelashes and eyeliner, and that was it. I wouldn't do anything else, and I would do like a clear lip gloss, and I would like embrace my under eye circles because I thought they were sexy. And for some reason, like, I got out of that routine, but now I'm trying to like get into that more. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna do my makeup like that and just like let the under eye bags like rock out. But I don't really know where I was going with that. Oh, I was going like, just like, I it's like weird. Like, I do want to be my best self and I don't want to offend anyone. And I just immediately was like, I don't like the way that sounds. You know what I mean? Like, I am hot and I do believe I'm beautiful, but I don't want it to come across like I'm hotter than you just because you don't like my outfit. You know what I mean? But then I'm also like, stand up for yourself. These bitches are mean. And I am hotter than you if you have a bad attitude. But I was just like, ugh. My brain hurts. I don't even want to deal with reading messages that are telling me about myself, or like reading messages of people that get offended. I don't want to offend anyone. I was just like, oh, whatever. Plus I focused on the fact, like, when I was talking to Ben about it, he was like, there's like 300 comments that say that they love you, and then there's 5 that say you're distasteful. So which ones win? You know, like, you're choosing which ones win. And if you're bothered by something, you're choosing to let it bother you. But so those are all the questions I'm going to answer today. I am so happy that the lighting is like officially perfect. The last episode, it was like more pink, but like still too dark for like my face. And this one I just feel like is completely where it should be. And I'm super happy with it. And I'm super proud. And I'm also on episode 15. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. I'm giving myself a little round of applause. Like, I am proud of myself. I have been good. I've been like stable. I've been reading. I've been like taking time for myself. I've been balancing out. Oh, by the way, the sample for the candles came in and I wasn't happy with them. I just wasn't. Like, and I have to be honest, like, I'm not going to sell you anything that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point. Like, I'm not going to try to sell you something that I think is shit that I wouldn't buy. Like, when I sniffed the candle, I was like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to sell it. Like, and immediately, you know, when something smells good, first sniff, you're like, I like it. I did not like it. And then I even tried to like light the candle in my room and like walk out for a little bit and then walk back in to get like the natural fragrance of it. And I walked back in and I was like, it smells like something is like burning, like burnt like mulch or something. Like I was like, this is terrible. Like I don't even know why those companies send it out. Like I know it was custom made for me, but like that is not what like cinnamon spice smells like. So you failed me. So maybe I'll get another sample in, but if that doesn't work out, I'll just be selling the journals for now. But then I also got the bags in, the custom bags that say Malia Hope, like with my little website on the bottom of it. And I'm really excited for those. And I do have those other few things on the website and my blog up that I've been writing. And I've been so excited to write recently. Like it just flows out of me and I have such a good time doing it. So that was like really interesting and like made me excited. But yeah, follow the podcast Instagram. Thank you back. Thank you for coming to another episode. I love you guys so freaking much. I hope you guys feel beautiful and content and happy. And I hope I answered your questions to the best of my ability. I really want you guys to start getting to know yourselves. Like that's what all these, oh, I didn't even think of a challenge for today's episode. Okay, I got it. Because there were so many of you guys that asked stupid ass fucking questions. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I love you. But you know, questions that are just like, you know, the answer to it. Like, oh, I'm in love with him, but he doesn't value me. Drop him. Oh, like he doesn't put any effort into me. Drop him. Oh, like, you know, what do I do when he doesn't respond to me ever? Drop him. Like, you know, we know this. So I want you to write a letter to yourself, hyping yourself up. Like genuinely, like what would you say to your best friend that was going through this? What would you say to your daughter that would go through this? You know what I mean? You'd be like, you deserve fucking better. I want you to do better for yourself. I want you to, you know, wait for the right person. I want you to admire yourself and acknowledge yourself so deeply and so, you know, beautifully that you don't need anyone else. You know, write yourself a note and a letter so that whenever you're thinking about going back to that person or answering the text message or like, you know, going to meet up for that sneaky link, you have, you know, a little piece of yourself in a happier, healthier frame of mind that's like, no, fuck this. I want to do better for myself. I don't want to just sit here and like do the same shit and be with this person that clearly won't change. And like the way you allow them to treat you or what you allow them to do to you and like continue to go back is how you're like letting them know to treat you. That was so like choppy. But you know, you teach people how to treat you. You know, if you sit there and you tell yourself, I'm ugly, I don't like this, I don't do this enough, blah, 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 people are going to know that they can treat you that certain way. You know, if you bash yourself, people are going to bash you. If you hold yourself high and you know that you're that bitch and no one can fucking touch you, then people are also going to treat you that way. You know, it's your energy that you carry that like shifts the world around you. You know, you want to walk into a room and shift that energy, not have that energy shift you. So that's the challenge. Just write yourself a note, hyping yourself up and give yourself compliments, you know? So whenever you like feel down and out and you're like, oh, I don't know, like if I really like still want to go through with that breakup, even though he doesn't value me and like, you know, he's begging for me back and he says he's going to change. And in that note, you read it and it goes, hey, honey, like, I'm sorry, but this was his 15th chance. Like, clearly he's not changing. That might give you the power to like whip your ass back in shape and be like, no. Stick up for yourself, defend yourself, write yourself a note, hype yourself up. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here again. Make sure to follow the podcast Instagram and always please share any story times or any stories that like you want to talk about because I'm down for it. I'm down to do it. I want to hear your funny stories. And the girl that said that one story about the guy eating her ass and then stealing her credit card. She said she was going to send a voice memo because she was at work. So I didn't ever get to read that out. I might just like film a little like reel on my Instagram then and like finish that story because I'm interested to know like what sequence did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, did he just eat your ass because he wanted to steal your credit card? Was it a distraction? Did he take the credit card while he was eating your ass? Like, what was it? Like, I would like to know what that was. And for all the bitches that were hating on me, I'm sorry that was distasteful. I also like, I don't know, I don't think I've ever given like super super conservative like energy on my channel. I've always been like cursing, and like I have tattoos all over my body. Like I don't know like who thought, like I do believe in God and whatever, and I'm like I go to church and stuff, but I'm still myself. So I don't know who thought that like I was gonna be like, oh, you have to act like a lady and you have to like do it if you'd like to. That's fine. But I have my own entire personality, and I'm not gonna shape that and get insecure about myself because it makes you uncomfortable. But okay, I love you. Bye.
And that is a wrap.